Now let's jump into the second part of the interview. Let's talk about Taiger. So in a few
I know
words,
that topic well.
you know the topic well, I'm sure. So in a few words, because you know the topic very well, how can you describe Taiger?
Well, Taiger is a deep tech AI company that specializes in automating back-end tasks. Like the most fundamental thing that we do is we read documents, extract data, and put it in a structured format in a database. This is something that, for example, financial institutions do a lot. Normally, when you open a bank account or a credit card or something, you go with all your documents, your proof of address, your balances, your IDs, and that's going to go to a BPO, to a business, to a BPO, and they are going to have people just reading those documents and typing that information into the systems of the bank, so that eventually it's available for when you go to the bank and say, I want to withdraw money or whatever.
Yeah.
So that is very labor intensive. Until now, that was a frontier of technology because the information can be in different parts of the document. Take a power of attorney, for example. Everyone is going to be different depending on how the lawyers draft it, and it's quite complex, right?
Yeah.
So we invested tremendous amount of money in breaking that barrier, breaking that frontier at a scalable, being scalable, right? You can code a lot and that's fine, but you're not going to scale. So what we did is we created this no-code tool. It's called IDP, that allows anyone with basic literacy and computer skills, anyone with basic literacy and computer skills, with as many as 50 documents, to create a document reading model that is going to understand that document, that is going to read that document, that is going to read all the data points in that document that you want, and it's going to do it correctly and with comfort, right? So it's like we taught software how to read, and scale is the thing here. You find in our space, you find vendors, like for example, Hyperscience, some others with much larger valuation than us, but really worse technology and less revenue. And you find them like they carry 5 document reading models because the investment up front, as we know, in AI, you need a lot of AI talent and you need a lot of samples, right? So what we've managed is to build a no-code tool that with very few samples and no need for AI talent creates those document reading models at scale. Thousands, hundreds of thousands. Yeah. So we taught software how to read at scale, any language, any document, any industry. That's what we do.
Wow. And what was your inspiration behind for founding Taiger? Long queues at the administrative offices?
No. It was much more naive. We've always been operating in this space with unstructured, what we call unstructured information. We started doing search with a search engine, conversational assistants, recommendation engines. But then 7 years ago, approximately, Banco Santander came to us and said, look, we know your technology back in the day already was distinctive, right? And said, we have this automation that we want to do for new to bank SME onboarding. Back in the day, they were onboarding, I think it was 500,000 accounts a year, new accounts, right? That's around 5 million documents, 10 documents per account. And it took them a lot of effort, manual effort, because they were doing it on the back. I said, can you automate this for us? Can you read these documents? And we said, well, no one can, because we're talking powers of attorney, board resolutions, balances, P&Ls, and then the simple thing, the DNA and the DNI and all this. But we tried, and this company has always operated at the edge of technology. We pride ourselves, we come from a research background, so we pride ourselves to operate there and take on challenges that other vendors are going to say, no, this is too hard. So we took it, and it worked well. We built this document reading model software that actually allowed us back in the day to read these documents with a lot of comfort. I think we had some installations with them working at 98% accuracy. But it was not scalable. It required a lot of coding. So then we decided, okay, if we are going to be successful here, we cannot be so unscalable. We have to find a way to make this technology scale. So we started investing, and it took us probably 5 years to break this technological barrier, right? And now we have some patents, we have many trade secrets that we don't share, but we can say today we have broken this. We are probably the only player in the world that is able to build document reading models at scale. Just to give you color, the last project we did for this bank, they wanted to process 7 million ICO policies, the ICO, the COVID relief that the government gave. 700,000 policies, so it was 7 million documents, 10 hits. So I met with the CTO and the CEO of the bank, and I said, why don't you have this problem? It's a compliance situation, so there is no way. And if not, the central bank is going to give you penalties, right? So we need to do this in the next few weeks. So why don't you give me one sample of each one of these documents? And we'll build, it will be dummy data, but it will give you an idea of how fast we can do it. So that took us 2 weeks to build those models with 4 engineers and 2 interns at a cost of 7,900 euros. When any other company builds this, it's going to be hundreds of thousands and it's going to be months.
Right.
We did it in 2 weeks. And then we put it into production and we're very happy. All the compliance situation was okay, they didn't have to pay the penalties, etc., etc. And then we released a new version of this algorithm. And just for fun, we took all these documents that we had processed, a sample of them, and we built the models again.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
Yeah.
It took us 1 afternoon, 2 interns. 1 afternoon. What before had taken us 2 weeks, 4 engineers and 2 interns, with the new version of the algorithm at the same level of performance, 90 plus accuracy, we did in 1 afternoon with 2 interns at a cost of 390 euros.
So quick and completely effective.
Exactly. So when we ask them, what is the value that you see in this? First, that we can use the tool ourselves. We don't need you.
Yeah.
We don't need to know anything about AI.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, that of course we're going to do the short tail, right? Of those documents that like powers of attorney or DNIs that we have tremendous amount, right? Millions every year. But the more interesting for us is that we can do the long tail. So we might have only 500 documents, 700 documents, 1,000 documents that we need to process.
Yeah.
But you add those small amounts, and then suddenly you end up with an operation that is large because you still need the people.
Mm-hmm.
With your tool, we can take 50 of those samples, build the model, and then process the other 450. See? And then that's where you realize we've really done something good here. The future of this company is going to be very bright just because we have broken that technological barrier.
Congratulations, anyway, that's so impressive. And because it's Singapore based, so what was the reason behind establishing the headquarters here in Singapore?
We started working with the government very well, and the government of Singapore, this is not written in anywhere. I mean, you can see me, I'm very present on the media. I'm kind of the poster child of Singapore when it comes to the AI. I was doing the GDPR for Singapore. I was defining the roadmap in AI. I'm the president of the high performance computing and AI chapter of SG Tech. Everywhere they say AI, Sinuhé Go, right? So there is a hope, let me put it this way, that Singapore is going to have a global AI company grown out of Singapore, nurtured out of Singapore. Mm-hmm. And we want it to be that. And I think we are actually the more advanced one in the race, right? I mean, obviously COVID has had an impact on the whole industry, but it's going well.
And you work with Spanish employees and Singaporean employees?
Oh, many more.
Many more. So how do you manage and make a balance out of all these cultures that may be different?
Well, and that's another strength of Singapore, right? Singapore is not Chinese, it's not Malay, it's not Indian, it's not German, Spanish, or whatever. Everybody lives here,
yes,
right?
It's everything.
So that becomes, it's not even I'm having a multicultural company. If you're here, you have a multicultural company. You cannot just be here and have only Spanish or Indian or whatever it is, right? It doesn't make sense. So it's not even something that you purposely need to think about. It just happens. It's normal, and there is a lot of harmony here, as you know, right? So it's not like all these cultural conflicts or religious conflicts. No, everybody is like, okay, I have my thing, you have your thing. We respect each other. We work together, and it's fun. Yeah. And it's fun.
It comes natural, and it's easy to manage.
It's easy to manage because people, they live here, they understand, right? Your neighbor is from China, and your other neighbor is from Malay, and you are Singaporean or whatever. So what? It's not even something you think about.
Exactly. And finally, what is your long-term goal for Taiger?
World domination.
I'm sure you will manage it.
I'm just kidding. No, we want to fulfill that dream. We want to be the first deep tech AI company grown out of Singapore with a global footprint and a multi-billion-dollar valuation and revenue. And I think we can do it.
Yes. So have a look, because one day Sinuhé is going to dominate the world with Taiger.
Just kidding, that's kidding.
Well, thank you so much for your interview. It's been a pleasure, and we hope to see you again in the Spanish Sling.
Whenever you want.
So see you next time for more information about Spanish and Singaporean companies. Thank you so much.
Thank you.